Welcome to Adventures with Dice. I'm Rob and I'm your host for these videos. If you're new here and you find that you like the content that I put out, please consider subscribing and liking the videos. Those small clicks really help a channel like mine out. If you would further like to help out the channel, click on the Amazon wishlist link in the description of each video and you can choose some product to purchase that will help me continue to make content. You can also hit that join button and for $1 a month become an Adventures with Dice hero, which gives you a badge on your comments, early access to videos, and access to my members only videos. Now, with all of that self-promotion out of the way, I hope you enjoy the next video and stick around for future videos. God bless. Let's go. Alright, well, welcome back. We're going to start the next part of the series on classes. And before we dive into the Artificer, we're going to look at the key ingredients to each class that's going to be shared across all the classes and explain what everything is. Alright, so Tales of Argosa has 9 classes to choose from. You have the Artificer, the Barbarian, the Bard, the Cultist, the Fighter, the Magic User, the Monk, the Ranger, and the Rogue. Not all classes will suit all games, particularly the Artificer as, well, at least in a sword and sorcery setting. So you need to check with your GM to confirm which are available. So these are all things that each class is going to share, starting with hit points. While hit points partly reflect the ability to absorb blows, they are primarily more interchangeable qualities such as fighting spirit, combat experience, stamina, and luck. Being restored to full hit points after a battle does not mean a PC's wounds miraculously heal. On the contrary, it suggests that, despite their injuries, the adventurer has gathered the courage to rally, found their second wind, or otherwise hell-bent on reaching their objective. All first-level PCs start with hit points equal to their con score, plus their class HP bonus, which is generally between 1 and 3 points. Between 2nd and 9th level, all characters increase their HP by their class hit point bonus only. So it gives an example here. A first level Con 13 fighter starts play with 16 hit points. He gets 13 hit points from his con, plus 3 from his class HP bonus. And he'll get 3 each level. So at 2nd level, her hit points increase by 3 to 19. Then to 22 at 3rd level, and so on. Wounded. Most damage is cuts and scrapes, but if reduced to half your max hit points, which is known as wounded, the character shows real signs of trauma. If reduced to 0 hit points, the subject is unconscious or incapacitated and may die or suffer persistent injury. See page 83. Leveling up. Now, leveling up in this game is not like D&D in the sense that you're gathering thousands of XP to go from level to level. The levels actually are just a few hit points, or a few experience points each. But it has a similar system, and we'll go over it in detail when we get there. But it has a similar system to games like Dark Places and Demogorgons, or a lot of the Free League games like Dragonbane and such, where you answer questions at the end of the game. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And you get XP based on that. And then you're also encouraged to curate your own XP chart, which I have done for my games. And I'll show it off too. It's what I've done in my GM's notebook. But leveling up. When a PC levels up, they gain +1 to an attribute of their choice every time, excluding luck and initiative, up to a max of 16. They gain more hit points and other benefits as outlined in their class attack bonus and abilities table. If a spell or monster ability refers to a target's hit die, the PC's hit die is equal to their level. Class abilities. All classes come with special abilities relating to their general theme and niche. Some abilities work automatically, while others require a check of some kind. PCs may attempt to recover expended abilities by taking short or long rest, which is detailed on page 89. Unique features. Unique features are similar to feats in other games. Every third level, so 3, 6, and 9, devise one new ability, trait, or theme for your adventurer. Feel free to borrow feats, class abilities, perks, and so on from other games, modified to suit Tales of Argosa. The advancement need not be limited to traditional class themes, allowing for a degree of multiclassing. The open nature of unique features requires some table discussion to keep things balanced and consistent with the genre of your campaign. Consider these advancements under constant playtesting and subject to tweaking. If you are uncomfortable with creating your own unique features, there are some examples that appear on page 45. For more experienced players, GMs might allow a bonus unique feature at first level to allow for greater PC customization. Tables favoring simplicity might ignore unique features altogether or grant just a +1 bonus to an attribute, max of 16. Another designer thought box here. Hit points in Tales of Argosa start out a little higher than they did in low fantasy gaming, but they increase at a slower rate. The flatter HP curve has many benefits. PCs quickly reach and remain in the hit point sweet spot of 20 to 30. Lower HD monsters remain dangerous for longer, fewer enemies are needed to threaten the party, and most importantly, fights are quicker and more exciting. This in turn frees up precious session time for more exploration, social interaction, side treks, crazy plans, and of course, more fighting and looting. Alright, let's get started with the Artificer. Now, like I said in one of my other videos, I really like this Artificer. Artificer, however you want to say it. A lot of games have this type of character in them, and I've never really been drawn to playing one until reading this one. Now, if you're going, like it said, if you're going straight sword and sorcery, Conan style, this may not be the character that you want your players playing. But if you're going for a more generic style fantasy or maybe high-end fantasy, this is definitely something that you could add into the mix. Again, check with your GM to make sure they're okay with it. But we're going to go through it here. The Artificer. You are an Artificer, an expert alchemist and forge master, gear priest, black powder savant. You might be a reclusive tinkerer, a burly gadgeteer, a fume-addled apothecary, or a haughty steamsmith. Hammer in hand and hellfire at your belt, you travel abroad in search of inspiration, putting your unique devices to the test. Most folk brand you a menace, a heretic, meddling in the secret of unstable forces, destined for an early grave, and perhaps they're right. Yet no man lives forever, and all kingdoms fade. What matters is whether your next discovery will change the world. So for the Artificer, we have a key attribute of intelligence, which means he has to have a minimum 15 intelligence. If you go back and look at when the first video on rolling up characters, when you roll up your characters, you will remember that you have to have at least one attribute at 13 and one at 15, and if you don't roll that, then you increase to them. So if you want to play the Artificer, you're going to be able to increase his intelligence to the 15 that you need, provided you didn't roll a 15 somewhere else. And most GMs will let you swap stuff around, attribute-wise, so that you can play the character you want. Hit points is equal to his con score plus his level. So he's getting 1 at level 1, 2 at level 2, but that depends on his con score. So if he had a con score of 13, then at level 1 he would start with 14 hit points. At level 2 he would go to 15 hit points, so on and so forth. Weapons. He is proficient with one-handed weapons, light crossbows, slings, and alchemy and mechanica weapons, which is something we'll deal with over here. It's a special category just for the Artificer. Shields, armor and shields, light and medium armor. Class starting gear starts with a heavy hammer, which does a d8 damage. Starts with leather armor, which gives +1 to AC. starts with a toolkit, which is going to be important for this over here, and then skills. And I'll get to how skills work in detail when we get done going through the classes, but basically they just make your ability to pull off the skill easier. But he starts with Apothecary, he starts with General Lore, plus you then roll a d12 3 times and re-roll any doubles or duplicates, but get 3 skills off of this list of Acrobatics, Animal Lore, Athletics, Deception, Detection, Divine Lore, Gather Information, Persuasion, Watercraft, Sleight of Hand, Stealth, and Traps and Locks. Then we have a really nice photo, which has also been used in the thumbnail. Now this is our Artificer attack bonus and abilities table. So each class will have this table. You'll notice that it's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have then an attack bonus, which is at level 1 is 0, but at level 2 it goes to +1, level 3 +2, so on and so forth, which is pretty standard for most D20 style games. Then the ability, at level 1 he just gets Alchemy and Mechanica, which is over here. At level 2 he gets a new skill, and he can choose from one of these skills or any other skill. It doesn't have to be one of his class skills when he picks a new skill. He also gets Troubleshooter, which will be explained in a minute. And at levels 3, 6, and 9, he gains an upgrade to his ability, his attack bonus, and a unique feature, plus hit points. Now, unique features, like we just talked about, are kind of like feats. At level 4, he gets +1 to AC. Level 5, a new skill, and then he gets Major Breakthrough. At level 7, he gets Supercharged, and at level 8, he gets +1 AC and a new skill. Now let's look at Alchemy and Mechanica. As an artificer, you are privy to secret lore governing fundamental forces of the natural world, enabling you to invent unique devices and admixtures. By first level, you have crafted a number of inventions equal to your intelligence modifier. So if you had a +2 intelligence modifier, then you get 2 inventions off this list. You roll a d12 on the below list. With each new level, learn 1 additional invention of your choosing. So every level, you might start off with 2, but every level you're going to pick up a new one. And you can choose it, or your GM may want you to roll it. You begin the adventure with 1 use of this ability per level. So level 1, you get to use it once per adventure. Level 2, twice per adventure. You get it. Unless noted otherwise, you may expend a use of this ability as part of your normal action, choosing 1 invention to apply. Abilities that expend uses cannot be activated more times than your intelligence modifier per day. So if you were 3rd level and you had 3 uses of it per day, you couldn't activate the same one of these 4 times per day because you're level 3. You could only do it 3 times per day. If an invention requires an intelligence check, you may use a reroll, which again is one of those meta currencies you have in the game. You may regain expended uses by taking short or long rest. So I'm not going to read through every one of them, but I will tell you what they are. You have Black Powder Weapon, Chain Tooth Weapon, Breathing Mask, Corroding Spray, Flash Rig, Fume Flask, Hellfire Glass, Iron Ward, Thunder Gauntlet, Truth Serum, Mutagen, and X-Ray Goggles. Now, just to kind of show you the difference between them, so a Fume Flask, you have to spend an action. Remember, you only get so many per day. You get 1 use per level. To hurl a gas device up to far range. An attack roll is generally not required. That's the GM's call. Causing one of the following non-magical but spell-like effects in a close area, and you choose. It is either Dark Slumber, Fetid Fog, Of the Pit, People, or Place of Perfect Night. An intelligence check is required. On a failure, the flask malfunctions and the effect is centered on you instead. The cloud duration is 2d6 minutes. And each one of them does stuff like that. But you have some that are permanent, like black powder weapon. You have created one and only one prototype black powder weapon. It is two-handed, far range, does 4d4 damage. On a natural 19, it does missile trauma. That's another thing, I've talked about this a little bit, that's really cool in this, is a lot of weapons and abilities and monsters have something special that kicks off on a natural 19 roll. Not a 20, just a 19. So in this one, you'll be doing damage, but you'll be rolling on the missile trauma table as well. And it changes the damage from 4d4 to 1d8 plus 4. It reloads like a crossbow, and damage dice are exploding. So you roll the highest on the die, and it explodes one time, and you can roll again. Firing is loud, preventing stealth. On a fumble, the gun malfunctions, rendering it to be a club until repaired. There are special rules for that. Once created, you may wield the weapon like any other. It does not require expending a use of alchemy and mechanica. If the weapon is lost or destroyed, you may create a replacement during downtime. So some of these are things that you create and you just use until they break. And some of these are you use your ability a certain amount of times per day, and it has an effect, like the fume flask. Now, one that I will note is the mutagen. These highly unstable and taxing concoctions grant a random benefit for 2d6 rounds. Only one mutagen may be active at a time. When a mutagen expires, make an intelligence check or suffer a toxin trauma with a d12 damage. Or no, that's a d12 roll. For 1d6 hours, roll 1d8 for the mutagen effect. So when you use the mutagen, you roll over here, and the mutagen could increase your strength to 17. Again, these are going to last for a d6 hours. It could increase your dex to 17, increase strength and dex to 17. Or you could spend an action to spit poison at a single target up to close range. You could exude eye-watering fumes, as hunger for blood, which is a spell. You could heal 1d10 hit points each round at the end of your turn. And stony skin, reduce all physical damage by 5 points. So a lot of cool stuff you can do right there. Then we move over to your next ability you pick up, which is Troubleshooter. Once per point of intelligence modifier per adventure, you may attempt to improvise or jerry-rig a device, ad hoc mixture to bypass a current obstacle, disarm a trap, or assist the party in some other way. Your toolkit and a successful intelligence check are required. Rerolls are available. Modified at the GM's discretion. Okay, so the device is fashioned from spare parts and chemicals scavenged or adapted from nearby materials, borrowed from allies, etc. The GM determines whether a proposed item is possible in the circumstances and how long it will take to create. Some examples might include a primitive but serviceable parachute, acid that melts a lock in a few moments before turning inert, one-shot flare gun or magnetic grapple, or a fusing agent to bind two objects together, or to climb a sheer wall. The devices and mixtures are temporary and makeshift, lasting up to 1d4 hours at best. At the GM's option, highly improbable or complex items might also cost a point of luck. Then again, at levels 3, 6, and 9, you pick up a unique feature. At levels 2, 5, and 8, you pick up a new skill. Again, it doesn't have to be the Artificer's class skills. You can pick up any skills. Then at 5th level, you also get Major Breakthrough. You make a major breakthrough or new discovery enabling the following benefits. Field repair, which is once per adventure, you may spend 1d6 times 10 minutes to repair a broken or damaged item like a shield or a weapon. Replacement limb.
during downtime at a cost of at least 1,000 silver. That's another thing too. This gold does exist in this world, but this game primarily focuses on silver. That's the primary coinage that is used by most. But anyway, 1,000 silver, and you may permanently replace a lost limb with a clockwork, steam, and/or canned lightning-powered facsimile. Eliminating injury penalties, this subject loses 1 point of dex permanently, but gains +2 to their max hit points. It can have secret compartments, tools, or weapon attachments. So you could turn somebody into Trapjaw from He-Man. Let's see, you also have new Alchemy and Mechanica. During downtime, you create a new Alchemy and Mechanica invention, adding it to your known abilities. Work with your GM to determine the details, subject to playtesting, just like unique features. And then you have Supercharged at 7th level. When you pick up Supercharged, you may spend 1 reroll to reroll any or all Alchemy and Mechanica related damage dice, number of targets affected, or mutagen effect. And then we reach 9th level. If you survive this long, you retire as a Master Mechanica to an artificing facility complete with a mine, forge, workshop, laboratory, and several dutiful apprentices. I don't know how you can read that and not think, man, that's really cool. I would want to play that. Unfortunately, for me, it'll mostly be, if my players don't play it, I won't get to see it unless I put NPCs in like this, because I'm one of those forever GMs who's always running the game. But if I was playing, this would definitely be one of my characters of choice that I would have a hard time not trying one of these guys out. Well, that's a look at the Artificer. I really hope you enjoyed it. Next, we will be looking at the Barbarian in our next video. If you enjoyed this video, like the thing in the beginning said, give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.